Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and hello everyone. My name is Nur Azreen and today I will be presenting on my research paper entitled Relationship between Negative Career Thoughts and Self-Efficacy with Career Decision-Making Difficulties among First-Year Undergraduate Students in UPM by Nur Azreen Sanusi and Zanara Ismail. So today there will be a few topics that will be discussed in this presentation, and firstly we're going to take a look on introduction. So in order to understand the background of the study, we need to understand the definition of the dependent variable itself, which is career decision-making difficulty, which can be defined as any deviation from an ideal career decision maker as a possible issue that may influence the individual decision process in this any two conceivable way: A, by impeding the individual from making a decision, or B, by directing to a less than favorable decision. Gatti, Cross and Osipo, 1996. So nowadays we basically can see that tertiary education acts as significant role in our career development and becomes an important pathway for career success. But in reality, the number of university graduates is increasing year by year and facing tough competition in the job market. It was also reported that there are more than 200,000 students graduate from tertiary education every year, and 1 out of 5 graduates were unemployed, which mainly contributed by the degree holders that make up a total of 35% of graduate unemployment. Next, we will discuss on problem statement. So the problems that initiate this study is graduate unemployment. For your information, according to the Graduate Traces study, there are 69.9% of graduates in 2017 are facing unemployment because they are still seeking for a job. 9.4% need a rest, 5.5% due to family responsibilities, 5.0% are waiting for settlements to further studies, and 2.6% state that work that had been offered was not suitable. Ahmad, 2017. So this phenomenon occurs because university students fail to decide their career pathway, which consequently can lead them to career decision-making difficulties. So they are not able to acquire specific career goals and fail to plan their future ahead. So career decision-making difficulties also occurs among Malaysian students. According to Mansour and Mat Rashid 2030, they demonstrated that a sample of students from National Youth Skill Training Institute IKBN in Selangor also face high career decision-making difficulties. So basically, this study can be beneficial for us to explore difficulties that impede the first-year undergraduate students in career decision-making in order to maximize their capabilities in preparing their future career pathways. So this is research objective for this study. For general objective, this study aims to determine the relationship between negative career thoughts, which include two subscales: decision-making confusion, commitment anxiety, and self-efficacy with career decision-making difficulties, which include two major categories: lack of information, inconsistent information among first-year undergraduate students of UPM. And these are the three specific objectives. Next topic is literature review. These are the previous literature on career decision-making difficulties. According to Gatti and Kulsa 2019, they stated that there are three difficulty categories in career decision-making difficulties, which are lack of readiness, lack of information, and inconsistent information. While Sidiropoulou Dimakaku, Milonas Agiropoulou, and Tapuri 2012 stated that lack of correct information regarding the labor market can provoke confusion because sometimes the information that one uses are not recent or is not suitably presented by the source, without excluding the case where he or she unconsciously manipulates the information because of his or her personal stance, belief, and values. These are the previous literature on negative career thoughts. So according to Sampson, Peterson, Lance, Reardon, and Saunders 1996, they define negative career thoughts as unfavorable results of individual thoughts in relation to belief, attitude, and feelings associated with career decision-making and planning. While Hassan 2015 stated that career thought inventory (CTI) was utilized to measure these negative career thoughts and the nature of those feelings And he also elaborated that this assessment also includes three other dimensions that inform the nature of negative career thoughts. And the three construct or dimension include decision-making confusion, commitment anxiety, and also external conflicts. So next, we will take a look on previous literature on self-efficacy. Hanks 2018 stated that individuals who possess low career self-efficacy fail to think that they can magnificently choose a career or learn how to gain skill of choosing a career. So this indicates the importance of self-efficacy to assist individual in career decision-making process. Those who have low self-efficacy would actually encounter a lot of difficulties along the process, which actually makes things very complicated after that. Redden 2015 stated that low self-efficacy expectation regarding a particular behavior could lead to avoidance of those behavior. So we can take career decision-making process as an example for this behavior. So those who have low self-efficacy would likely to avoid the career decision-making process, whereas stronger self-efficacy expectation would more likely lead individual to approach behavior. So those who have strong self-efficacy will actually approach the career decision-making process very well. So the next topic is materials and methods. So for the respondents, the one and only respondent that are eligible for this study is first year undergraduate students of Universiti Putra, Malaysia. Survey questionnaires are utilized for data collection because this study apply quantitative research design. For the sampling technique, stratified random sampling was utilized in this study, and the sample size for this study is 368 first year undergraduate students. The researcher then divided the total of first year undergraduate students according to the selected college into two categories, which are male and female. So the number of male students was 40, while female students were 52. Basically, these are the process of data collection. The next topic is measures. Firstly, the instrument that we utilize in this study is Career Thoughts Inventory, CTI, by Sampson, Peterson, Lance, Reardon, and Sander, 1996. There are a total of 3 subskills, which are decision-making confusion, which consists 14 items, commitment anxiety, which consists 10 items, and external conflicts, which consists 5 items. So present study applied 2 subskills of CTI, which are decision-making confusion and commitment anxiety. The next instrument is Generalized Self-Efficacy Scale, GSE, by Jerusalem and Schwarzer, 1995. So there are 10 items for this instrument. So lastly, the instrument that was used in this study is Career Decision-Making Difficulties Questionnaire, CDDQ, by Gatti and Saka, 2001B. So the total items for this instrument is 34, and there are 3 major categories in this instrument, which is lack of readiness consists of 10 items, lack of information consists of 12 items, and inconsistent information consists of 10 items. So present study also focus on the 2 major categories of CDDQ, which are lack of information and inconsistent information, to assess individual career decision-making difficulties. Next, we will take a look on the result of this current study. For the descriptive statistical analysis, this section described the personal background of the respondent, and it included the age, race, gender, and college. So as we can see from this result, the most respondent ages were 19 years old, which is 44.6%, while the least respondent ages were 18 years old, which is 0.3%. So other than that, we can also see that the highest category of races for this study is Malay, which is 84.0%. Next is Chinese, 7.6%, Indian, 4.3%, and 4.1% is identified as others. For the gender, male is 43.5% and female 56.5%. Respondents for the present study also were recruited at 4 colleges, and we can see that College 14 recorded 22.3% of respondents, College 12 23.6%, College Sultan Aladdin Shah 26.9%, and College Pendeta Zaba 27.2%. For correlational analysis, in this section, correlation between independent variable, negative career thoughts and self-efficacy, and dependent variable, career decision-making difficulties were determined in bivariate analysis through Pearson correlation test. So as we can see from this result, it was reported that there was a positive and significant relationship between decision-making confusion and lack of information. Positive and significant relationship between decision-making confusion and inconsistent information. Next, it was reported that there was a positive and significant relationship between commitment anxiety and lack of information, and the positive and significant relationship between commitment anxiety and inconsistent information. And lastly, it's reported that there was a negative and significant relationship between self-efficacy and lack of information, and also negative and significant relationship between self-efficacy and inconsistent information. Next is discussion. So basically from the result, we can see that this result is consistent with the previous study, which found that the CDDQ major category, lack of information, have a high and positive correlation with decision-making confusion score. Also, the finding was aligned with the previous study, which proposed that the commitment anxiety shows significant positive correlation with three major categories of CDDQ, include lack of information. So this means that first-year undergraduate students that face career decision-making difficulties were like having a hard time to acquire positive thought and belief about career, because they tend to think and view negatively about that particular career, which consequently make them confused and anxious while engaging in career decision-making process. Next, the result also consistent with the previous study, which found that almost study variables between CDI and CDDQ had a medium to large correlation with one another, as well decision-making confusion and inconsistent information that show positive significant relationship. Also, the finding was in line with past research proof that commitment anxiety shows significant positive correlation with three major categories of CDDQ, include inconsistent information. So we can see that both findings show that first-year undergrad students having inconsistent and less information, which caused them feeling undecided about their career path and eventually having difficulties in career decision making. Next, the result also compatible with past research that reveals self-efficacy had significant negative correlation with one category of career decision-making difficulties, which is lack of information. Okay, so self-efficacy has taught students to believe in their ability to accomplish specific career decision-making. So, I think that self-efficacy brings a positive impact in acquiring information about career path, which decrease the possibility to engage in career decision-making difficulties. Last topic, conclusion. So the present study showed that there are a relationship between negative career thoughts and self-efficacy with career decision-making difficulties among first-year undergraduate students in UPM. The result of this study also had contributed an important and deeper understanding on the career decision-making difficulties among first-year undergraduate students. And I believe that the present findings are beneficial to career counselors in order to actively promote early career intervention by conducting a career-related test, especially for first-year undergraduate students. Those career-related tests can be one of the instrumentation that we use in the study. Next, future researchers are encouraged to extend the sample size from different academic institutions, include the private academic institution. And then future research also should include participants from postgrad students to understand various stages of education that will affect the career decision-making difficulties. And they also can explore the need of career intervention And I believe that this present study can be potential inputs for career counseling to gain a deeper understanding of these two particular factors with initiate career decision making difficulties. I think that's all for today. I will end my presentation here, and thank you so much for listening.